Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. We're back for part 13 today and it is a big one in Wales. We've got transfer deadline day courtesy of Ben Williams and then second v third as the league has split and we now face the top six for the rest of the season. We lost the first one against TNS, pretty much expected you have to admit. But now, second v third is the real one. 9 points clear of Quay with 9 games to go. 12 points clear of Cardiff Met Uni with 9 games to go. Can we get over the line and into Europe? We've been helped by some of the early transfer work, but today could be a very long day. If you're looking forward to finding out why and seeing if we can get a result at Quay, a side we've struggled against this season, please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. We remain on the beta schedule for the rest of the week, daily episodes at 3:30 from this one and at 11:30am from Hemel Hempstead. There's also regular live streams on Twitch and you can catch up with all of the stuff you may have missed up in the eye above. But a massive thank you for watching as always. Let's crack on with transfer deadline day. It's 8 o'clock, we're not a big league, we don't get the media coverage. We've certainly got a lot to look forward to. And namely, we could have lost a fair few players. As it is, we've only lost 2 and none of our first 11. But the director of football, in terms of contracts, might just be taking his eye off the ball. So let's have a look at what has happened so far in January. Because I'm a little bit frustrated. But there wasn't much we could do about these ones. So, firstly, Michael Jones has just left, the old backup keeper. Didn't really matter, we had 2 similar level backups. However, we did have Kane Lewis come to complain because Michael Jones was our club captain. He was the team leader in the hierarchy, the only one. I have taught so much in both saves about the importance of dynamics. I mean, my one club story, the whole season review was basically based on it. And now we don't have a leader. I'm hoping, given Roberto the captaincy, he'll move up and take that mantle. And we have got a couple of big characters below it. But it is a problem. So maybe an experienced player is something we'll need. But Jones has gone to Haverfordwest. He wasn't really playing. He wasn't that happy. I understand the reason. And he was crucial for us last year, so he deserves a lot of credit. The one I'm a bit more upset about, and it was unavoidable, is Jose Ferreira leaving. Because he was such a good utility player. We asked him throughout his time here to play in so many positions. He played at one point right mid, right back, left back. He played centre half for half a game. And he played up front once as well. And he did a solid job for us everywhere. If we have a look at his stats, this season his rating was 6.81. When he played in a good team, he did well. And don't forget that start of the season, where we won 5 games out of 6, he was the man playing right wing because our director of football hadn't signed one. So I've got nothing but fond memories for him. The first Cefn Druids player ever to follow us on social media. So of course he's got a special place in our heart for that. But he actually came and approached us in the second week of January because he wasn't going to get a work permit for his new deal because of obviously the Brexit rules in game. So unfortunately, as a result of that, he asked to be transfer listed by request and we couldn't really stand in his way. We couldn't pass it over to the director of football because he came and talked to us as a manager. And in the end, he moves back to Portugal. He's playing really well there already. And we wish him nothing but the best because he has been a really important player for us. Having those 2 or 3 in your squad that can fill in absolutely anywhere are crucial. And Ferreira, for a year and a half, has been a rock in our side. However, now we have to look at deadline day and what might yet happen. Fortunately, some of the other players that could have left have not. Nick Roberts rejected Cardiff Met Uni. They made an offer, he turned it down. Chris Baker received an offer from, I think it was Flint Town, turned it down to stay with us. Stanton turned down Prestatyn, we saw in the last episode. But we were in a position where players could be lost. And this squad is just starting to get a little bit thin again. We're relying on a couple of youth players. I know we've got an intake to come. But I'd really like one more body to come in. We did lose out on one that our director of football was chasing. Not sure it's a position they should have been prioritising. But Jordan Williams, a left winger and striker, was being bid for by the director of football. He's chosen to go to Cardiff Met Uni, the amateur side, was playing for TNS the previous year. And to be honest, he's probably better than any of our strikers in that position. But as a left winger, we didn't really need him with Charlie Edge about. So we're going to get through the rest of deadline day, just see if there's any magic entailed. I've asked the director of football in the recruitment meeting to look for a left back, because Peters is the only one in the squad. And now Ferreira's gone, it's even more of a gap. And of course, for the same reason, the right wing. No Ferreira, we've only really got the youngster from the under-18s, and of course we've got the starter as well, which is Cislovic, but he's not really set the world alight this year. So we'll see what happens the rest of the day, then we'll get through to Connah's Quay, and when we do that, we'll have a look at our recent results too. But a big deadline day in Wales, other teams really improving. Let's see if we can go and do the same. Ben Williams, fingers crossed you can deliver. First action or news item of the day, and not one I want to see. Joe Stanton has turned down 2 clubs already, but Aberystwyth are a good one. Probably the first one not really threatened with relegation as well. So if we lose him, we might be in a spot of bother. We've not got great left midfielders in the rest of the squad. Dave Evans, a good youngster, but always injured. Charlie Edge quite often injured too. It's the position we don't want to lose a reliable pro. We'll see if we do lose him to Aberystwyth today. Maybe the director of football's going to need to do more work than I thought. But for the second time this window and the third time this season, Joe Stanton has rejected another club. He loves what we're doing with Cefn Druids. He can sniff the opportunity at Europe next year. Let's see if there's anything else to happen. I'm guessing halfway through the day, this might be a rare quiet one. Well, that was underwhelming and a waste of half an episode, wasn't it? Absolutely no deals done. I can understand why. He did his work early on. He got us a really good striker to improve the squad. And in the end, we didn't lose a great deal of talent. He did bring one young keeper in on trial earlier in the window, but there was no need to get him. He wasn't better than the 2 we had. And in the end, I can really understand that. And I don't think we can complain on the balance of things. I won't lie to you, I have been having a glance while our stock's been high this year. The fact we can't take coaching badges, I wanted to look to see if there was a move about. We've had a couple that have come up local to our actual home. So Stevenage, Borehamwood, they've both popped up in the National League and League 2. But there's nothing that's come up local to here. We were looking at maybe a Newport or Wrexham as a natural next path. But if I show you League 2 at the moment, Newport, yes, they've dropped down a bit, but still doing well in 14th. Wrexham the same in 17th after coming up. There's no real pressure. You can see Phil Parkinson's job is safe. There's no declare your interest there. Newport, much the same for Keith Curl. He's done a good job with them since joining, and they're looking pretty good shape. So I don't think there's probably going to be a move before the end of the season. What we've got to do is get into Europe, because surely, if we're playing in the Europa Conference League, even if we could win one qualifying round, it's got to get us noticed, hasn't it? So let's skip through. We're going to have a look at the results very quickly, because we have played a few games off camera. Not many, of course, because we were only here at the start of the month. But 4 games. The first was at home to Cardiff Met Uni. We kept that gap to 4th place with a 1-1 draw. Charlie Edge equalised just after a penalty had put us behind. A 2-1 win at Barrytown United. A red card really helped us. Charlie Edge with a pen. Cody Roberto with a goal. Still a late grandstand finish though. We managed to survive it. A 2-1 win at Pennybont in the Cup. We rested a few, but it didn't work out. We ended up at the hour mark saving the day. Roberto, Bayo and Peters come on. And in the end, it was Chris Baker, one who came into the team for the day, and Cody Roberto off the bench, who won it late on. A 1-0 defeat against TNS finished off the month. Mosgrove with a late goal. Same old story with TNS. We just struggle late on to hold on physically because it's semi-pro v full-time. It's lack of match fitness, training twice a week, lots of youngsters against fully established pros that have been playing in Europe this year. It's very understandable that we're losing them late on, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating. What it does mean, with now 9 games of the season to go and a little run in the Welsh Cup still possible, is that the title race is definitely out of the question. We're 8 points behind TNS, but crucially, we've got more than that cushion to Connah's Quay. 3rd place means that we've got to rely on the Cup winners to get an automatic place in Europe, but we should still get one. 2nd place means we're guaranteed. So we aim for 2nd first, we aim for 3rd as the backup, but we have to stay in this top 3 now. After doing so well all year, it would be criminal if we fell away. But we haven't had a run of playing top side after top side after top side all season. And I wonder if we're going to get found out. The only way to go and see if we are is to go and face one of them. Connah's Quay probably deciding is safe we've got the worst record against. Let's see if we can make amends today. Here we go then, a trip to Connah's Quay, and crucially, earlier this weekend, we know TNS won heavily, they've won the league. We said it would happen as soon as Europe wasn't a factor, as soon as they weren't playing 3 games a week they had a chance. But Cardiff Met Uni drew with Bala, which means we stay 11 points clear, and anything we get today is a bonus. But of course, if Connah's Quay win, the race for 2nd certainly hots up. We're going to go and get straight into it, because I've got a feeling This is going to be a pretty difficult day for us. We're not played well against Quay in the past. There was one game, ironically, where we saved our job against them, which was a 1-0 where we completely FM'd them at the start of last January. But apart from that, they've normally beaten us, even more than TNS. So let's have a look at our squad. Daniel Malone is now the joint best player at the club. He's improving in training for a semi-pro team. It was the one signing that we didn't know we needed on deadline day in the summer. But our director of football, more than anything, has to take credit for that deal. Got a 2-year deal now as well. Jacob Lever has been extended by another season to 2025. Our director of football is doing that work in the background. And we're in really good shape heading into the second half of the year. So we're going to keep the squad virtually the same. Hin, the youngster, the right winger, is in instead of Cooper on the bench. We've also got Jake Cassidy on the bench still with Roberto starting. But that is something that might change later on in this game. If Cassidy can come on, get that first goal and make an impact, I trust him to be my starter then. The rest of the team, as you would expect, Coley in goal, Lewis and Peters the fullback with Edwards and Lever at centre-half, Cizlovic and Edge the wingers. Edge really dropping in terms of ability now. He's got to 25 years of age, and whether it's just our other players getting better or the injuries catching up, but he's not quite got the impact he used to. Still great from set pieces though. Vieira and Malone in the middle, Roberts and Roberto up front. It's now 25 for Nick Roberts, who rejected Cardiff Met Uni to stay. Now let's see if he can keep going at more than one a game, because he's certainly going to win the Welsh League's Golden Boot this year. And how will he do in Europe next season? That's what I want to know. We've got to get a result to find out though. The lineup we just discussed means no changes from the TNS defeat. The Quay side is still very good. Ebb up front, Howes and Curran behind them on the wings. Looks a slightly different tactic for them today. But Tom Holland, Ryan Harrington, Margetson at the back has scored against us before, Hosey at right back, and even signed Lewis Gray, who I believe was a goalkeeper at Chester in the National League North. So Reece Taylor has dropped to the bench, as has Lewis Lynch, who were key players for them at the start of the season. That's how much they're improving. Darren Thomas joins the club as well. He was one of the better players at Connah last year. So let's go and try and prove a point. We're against the rivals, but so often they've had the upper hand. Let's see if they do today. I'm expecting a tough one. Well, it's been a very quiet first quarter. We've got a free kick with Edge. I'm not sure why we've come back for that as our first highlight. I'm guessing there'll be something from this counter as Gray plays a long kick to Ebb. They've got the three aggressive attacking midfielders behind the striker, but Malone wins it back. Brilliant defending. Out to Cizlovic on the right. Into Vieira. We've seen him play through balls in multiple games this season, but not here. Goes safe. Kane Lewis back to Edwards. Good experienced addition this year. Another one where the director of football takes credit. And Vieira's long ball on this occasion does not find its target. Harrington plays out to Price, who's sitting in that holding role. Gives it away to Edge while playing wide, and Edge can bring it forward. Not quite got the legs though, so goes back to Peters. Into Daniel Malone. Can he find a ball? Goes short to Vieira. Over the top to Roberto. That's an unlocking a defence pass. Back to Charlie Edge. That is just what we want to play in a nutshell. Vieira the playmaker. Up to the target man. Holds it up back to goal brilliantly. Lays it back to Charlie Edge. And those players like Edge and Malone and Nick Roberts, who have got the technical ability in front of goal, are the men taking advantage. Connah's Quay 0, Cefn Druids 1. We've been the better side. They've had no shots on target. And we're even keeping the ball pretty well in this game. It's been a perfect away performance. If we win this game, you've got to remember, we're virtually in a position where we've wrapped up second place. And from where we were last season, in a relegation zone, almost at Christmas, this is just about the biggest turnaround I've ever had at a single club. As Curran puts a cross in for Connah's Quay, let's not count the chickens yet. From Hosey back to Price, into Murphy, back to Curran. Good block to Ebb, another block. Holland blocked again. Fourth time off the line by Peters. That is the definition of putting your bodies on the line. 4 last-ditch blocks after the keeper was beaten. And we keep the 1-0 lead. How they've got no shots on target there, I don't know, because at least 3 of them were definitely going in. We're past the hour mark though, and we've still got the lead as Lewis plays long downfield. Roberts brings it down brilliantly. The man in brilliant form cannot miss at the moment and does not miss again. Nick Roberts is just unbelievable. Remember at Brecon in FM21, Mark Malley, James Rose, those young strikers with a point to prove. He gets on the shoulder, he doesn't score every chance, but he's physically good and he's always willing to get in behind. He's a confident lad. And he's proving absolutely everyone wrong as Howes plays down the line to Curran. They're 2-0 down, but they're still going for it, Quay, as you'd expect in a big game like this. Long ball down the left, but Malone, the box-to-box midfielder, back covering the right-back role. It's a poor kick out from Quay though. Ebb down the line to Breeze. Still gets himself wide. Lewis closes down. Forced back to Reynolds. He gets it into the box. Breeze again. That's a great effort. Clips the outside of the post on its way wide. And I think we'll go and consider changes in a minute because we're starting to show signs of wear here. And a bit like the TNS games, we aren't going to be physically superior against teams like this. As Howes comes forward from left back, former Luton man finds Breeze. 2 running in behind, but goes back to Reynolds. We've kept a really good shape there. You can see the 2 banks of 4. But can they get in behind playing direct? They try and switch it quickly to Hosey. He goes inside to Davis, the sub, and now Harrington. Nice spell of possession for Connah's Quay. But if we keep that shape, hopefully we can keep them at bay. Up towards Breeze. Lever heads away. Cizlovic in the challenge, but Howes wins it. Reynolds to Curran. It's a great ball for Breeze. It's a great save from Coley as well. What a bit of goalkeeping that is. We are absolutely flying. We look confident. I love this team at the minute. As Curran gets it into Reynolds, Edwards wins the header. Back to Murphy, to Margetson. Another block, this time Cizlovic. Everyone putting their bodies on the line here. And we still have that clean sheet preserved as a result. But another set piece to defend. It's relentless pressure. Curran in towards Reynolds. But Vieira puts him under pressure. It goes comfortably over the bar. And with 20 minutes to go, we'll go and make some changes. Because you can see from the expected goals, we've been outclassed this half. We're still holding on for the 2-0 lead. Vieira is going to be replaced by Malone in a playmaker role. Going to make the sub I make quite a lot of the minute when we're a goal or 2 up. Yelani Bayo comes into that box-to-box role. Gives us a bit more defensive bite, a little bit more discipline. Roberto will be replaced by Jake Cassidy. It's a little bit more dynamic, slightly younger as well. And then I either go Steve Peters off or Cizlovic off. But for Cizlovic, we've only got a youngster. So what I'm going to do is give it 5 or 10 more minutes. We'll make that sub late on to waste time if we need to. Well, into the final 8 minutes. Cizlovic looking absolutely shattered. So on comes Hao Chi Hin. One of the youngsters from last year's youth intake. Has always done a job when he's come on. Not got the most ability, but high potential. Quite quick. And will do a solid job. As we go into stoppage time, we're going to win at Connah's Quay. And surely, even if we have a bad run at the end of the year, even if we have injuries, suspensions, that's surely all but wrapped up second place. We've got 8 games to go in the league this season. We are now 12 points clear of Connah's Quay in third. They were champions the 2 years before last. It's incredible. We've got a Steam notification for a brilliant, superb dressing room atmosphere. And just look at it. 14 clear of Cardiff Met Uni, 12 clear of Connah's Quay. And I'm going to make a decision now. If we avoid TNS in the cup draw for the quarterfinals, I'm going all out to win the Welsh Cup. I'll rest players in league games to make sure we win it. Because unless we get TNS, I see no reason we can't win the cup. And I want trophies. That's what grabs the attention of other clubs. I'm surprised we haven't had anyone looking at us because we are really overachieving. But I guess the Welsh League, bar the Welsh sides in the English pyramid, isn't going to have much coverage. And of course, bear in mind with this as well, as we go and praise Charlie Edge for his performance, that we've got another golden generation youth intake coming through. Might not be that, but certainly going to have at least 1 or 2 players that can contribute to the squad, as it did last year. The ones in the development centre from before, David Evans, he's improving, but his star rating is actually going down because our squad is that much better than it was last year. Nichols, still a great young striker in the squad, but being pushed down by the other options going. Gwindo, another player who maybe we'll have to change shape for later down the line. And the man who we saw come on today, who's quick, 2-footed and a good crosser of the ball, surely can contribute at this level too. There is so much to be positive about at Cefn Druids. There are going to be inevitably other jobs that pop up along the way. It's whether any of the managers' jobs are ones that are going to be suitable and whether anyone wants to come and take a punt on us. I'm imagining that's not going to happen till we're in Europe. But by the looks of it, we could be starting in Europe in our 3rd season, and that is something only Welsh football can probably offer. The one thing I do want to show you before we go and have a look at the schedule is still my concern with contracts though, because although most are getting tied down in terms of the big guns, Kane Lewis has still not got a contract. Pavel Vieira has still not got a contract. I didn't realise Cassidy's deal was only till the end of the season, and if him and Roberto go, we're in trouble. Cizlovic, the only right winger in the squad, still got no deal for next year. And Yelani Bayo, I'm not as worried about. He's the highest paid player by a long way. and he's not even in the starting lineup. So I can understand if he leaves the club, but another versatile one. And with Ferreira leaving, the only other options, we are losing players quite quickly. So we've still got that vulnerability to players who are amateur. We've seen that in the window where we've been worrying, are Stanton or Roberts going to leave, are Baker going to leave? We have got those sort of headaches too. But if we have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back, I think we say one of two things. If we get to the Welsh Cup final, obviously that and the final league game of the season. If we get TNS in the Welsh Cup before the end of the season, we'll be back for that. Or if it's a big game, say a Connah's Quay, a Cardiff Met Uni, we don't get the draw unfortunately until after Barry. Or if it's none of those things and we go out in a lowly tie in the quarter-final, we'll just come back for the final 2 league games. Because I don't think we're going to have a European playoff this year. I think we're going straight in automatically because the way we're performing, we ain't finishing lower than second. If we can win the Cup too, what an absolute bonus. What we are going to try and do is get to next season as quick as possible because I want to play European football with Cefn Druids Football Club. If Ben Williams can keep his work up this summer as well, we're going to have one hell of a time too. So if you're looking forward to that and you did enjoy this episode, albeit a very quiet deadline day, but decent form continuing, and we look to be best of the semi-pro sides, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. The beta schedule continues till the end of this week. 3:30 for the head coach each day, 11:30 AM for Hemel Hempstead. And then next week, a daily video at 3:30 with the 2 long-term stories rotating. Of course, FM22 mobile and Cricket 22 just around the corner. There's a few other bits you can see up in the eye above. And come and check out our live streams on Twitch. You can find a link up there too. But a massive thank you for watching as always. Your support is greatly appreciated. Let me know in the comments what you've thought of these performances and what you thought of the transfer window as a whole, albeit it finished with a quiet deadline day. And I'll see you next time for hopefully a Welsh Cup final or a big game in the Cup, because we're going all out to win it now. I want to try and finish this season with a trophy, and it looks like we're going to finish it in Europe. I'll see you next time.